Setting up my PC a little bit. Yeah, sure. You can add the slide. I don't have any slides, by the way, so I can. I just have a session prepared, but I don't have any slideshow. So okay, okay, I'm just going. Yeah, I have already shared my screen, right? So I can just going to. Yeah, do you need to, if you have to do it manually, yeah, feel free to share my screen. That's fine. Okay, sounds good. Should I start then? Okay, awesome. Hello everyone. My name is Shubhra. I work as a software engineer at Electronic Arts. My background is in game development, augmented reality, and virtual reality. I did my master's from computing science, and now I have been working in EA for the last 6 months. Before that, I worked as a game developer in Fortinet, and I did my master's in AR VR technology, and mainly in child computer interaction and how we can use it to emphasize the use of augmented reality in various teaching methodology. So I know you are having an hackathon today, so I am going to show you that how easy it is to getting yourself started with AR, because there is a lot of new technology nowadays that enables you to develop AR application without even knowing how to do coding in depth. For this example, I'm going to create a small simple AR application that can show you a 3D model on top of some image target. So what does it mean is that we are going to have um, some sort of a card. The card should look something like this. I have a few card in here, if you can see them. So I have a few card in here, and when we show the card into the camera will pop up with some sort of 3D model on top of them, right? So you can do it with any other image target. So with this basic idea, you can create apps like Alphabet. I'm just going to show you one. So there are many different apps like this where you basically show kids the flash cards, and then using those they can see the augmented world. So that's really fun, and that's just a beginning. You can then add up multiple cards, and then maybe do something cool. You can maybe like for this example, I'm just going to show you only one card. You can combine multiple card and create words and many things like that, right? You can even have a flashcard of different words, and using those words you can show them the 3D model of that particular thing, right? So it's pretty cool, and it's getting more and more traction day by day. AR is getting the mainstream with the introduction of metaverse. So I think it's a really good time to get started with AR. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. First of all, we are going to need Unity 3D. Those who are not familiar with Unity 3D, is a 3D tool that is basically um, mostly used for developing games. But in recent days, Unity has expanded its like uses from gaming to many different things like VR, AR, and now they're using it for film and animation and many other things like automotive, architectural construction. So you don't have to be a game developer to use Unity. It's just a developer tool and it's really easy to learn. Okay, so to do that, we're going to first go to unity.com, and then if we go to get started, that will take us to this pricing and planning. And we're going to create individual. Unity is always free, and you don't have to pay any money to use it unless you are, producing enough money. So if you are producing like 100K per year using the app that you developed by Unity, that is when you need to pay. Otherwise, you don't have to pay any money. And then you need to click on the get started, straightforward, and download for either Windows or Mac. I'm using Mac, so I'm going to just go a little bit down, and then I'm going to click on download hub M3 for Mac. Okay, and then you can just simply do a few, like just click on that, agree to the terms and condition, and then set it up. I have already set it up, so I'm just going to give it to you. Just wait for a bit. If anyone is following along, you can simply install the app. Actually, I can move along, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the end of the session, and I'll also like share a link with you. There is a lot of tutorials out there. All of them are free in my YouTube channel. You can go there and like browse through these tutorials in your spare time or during the hackathon, right? So after you install the Unity Hub successfully, you are going to get a window something like this with all the licensing and everything set it up. And then we're going to create a new project, and I'm going to select 3D from here. So in the left of your screen, you can see there is a few buttons, and we are looking for the templates, right? So we are going to click on all templates and then select 3D, and we need to give a name to our project. I'm just going to name it hello, and maybe hello AR. I already have a similar name, so I'm just going to say hello here too. Yeah, then we can create the project. All right, so yeah, it's opening. Just give it a moment. So in the meanwhile, when the app is opening, we need to create another account in a service called Vuforia. Okay. So Vuforia is a AR platform that gives you the SDK that you're going to need to develop, complex AR application. Um, by like if we wanted to create our own AR application from scratch, that will need a lot of coding knowledge, and we are going to need experience with computer vision, OpenCV, machine learning, and many different things like that. But with Vuforia, we can just use their XDK, and this is super simple. You're going to see like it only takes 5-6 minutes to get our first application, work and running. So yeah, so we are going to create our register, and from there, we are going to create a new account. Again, really straightforward. So I already have an developer account, so I'm not going to go into that path. I'm going to assume that you'll know how to do the registration. It's simply just filling out the username, password, email, and stuff like that. So I'm just strictly going to log in. Something is wrong with their system. It's taking a lot of time. I'm just going to try to do it from the Safari. Oh, it worked. Okay. Okay. Nice. So yeah, I'm just going to log in to my account. Okay. So again, Vuforia is also free, but in the free version, they have some watermark. For our purpose, it's not a problem. Then the watermark doesn't look ugly. It's like on the right corner of the screen. So we are going to get the basic version of the API. So click on the get basic, and then you need to create a license for it. Okay. So I'm going to name it uh, our first AR, and then check the box to acknowledge all the terms and condition, and finally confirm. And when you do that, you'll see you have an sorry, you'll have the license. For me, it's in the first one that is created with the name that you provided, and if you click on that, you are going to get a license key, and we are going to need this just in a bit. Okay. So let's go back to our Unity editor. Let's see if everything is working. Yeah. So this is how a Unity editor looks like. I'm just going to give a pause in case anyone have any question till now, and then in the next 1 minute, I'm going to start again. So if you guys have any question, just feel free to ask me now. All right. So yeah, in that case, I'm just going to share my screen again. Okay. So now we have our Unity editor up and running. Let's talk a little bit about it. I'm just going to go to the default. This is how it will look like when you install and open it for the first time. So in the middle here, this is where we do all the editing, right? So if we are developing something, for our case, it's a AR application, we're going to add all the 3D model, all the assets, anything that we want to add to our application, we're going to put it in here. Okay. Then in the place uh, below in the screen, the down the screen, this is where we have all the assets. So assets means, for example, if we want to import the uh, like the plugin, the Vuforia plugin, we're going to add it in here. If we want to add an image, we're going to add it here. So assets folder contains all the necessary assets that we're going to need to make the app, right? And then if we look into the left panel, there is a panel called hierarchy. This is where all the things that you created into your scene in the middle in here goes in a like organized way, right? So if I click each of them, you are going to see that particular thing or game object has been selected into the scene, right? So each of these object that you see in the left, they are basically called game object in Unity. Okay. And each of the game object has a few components. So if I click on main camera, you can see there are a few components in the right hand side. So for our case, that much of knowledge of Unity will be enough for now, because we're not going to do any sort of coding. All we need to understand is any setting that we want to do is in here. If we click on them, the settings should be in the right hand side. Any asset that we want to import, we can simply drag and drop them from our screen to here. For example, if I want to drag and drop this image, I can simply drag it. Sorry, give me one. I'm not Oh, this. Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I'll do it again. Sorry. Oh man. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to repeat all the things again. My screen was not shared. My bad. All right. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the editor again. So this is how it looks like when you open the Unity editor. Okay. So in the left panel, we have hierarchy. This is where all the game object that should be inside our game lives in. Okay, so for example, if we have some sort of 3D model, if you that you want to show into your AR game or AR app, that goes in here. For our case, in the empty project, there is only a main camera. The main camera is like the view of the player. This is what you see when you open the app, and there is a light, so whatever you put into the scene doesn't looks black. It has some sort of light information. um in the like below of the screen, down in here, we have something called assets, and this is where we put all the assets that we are going to use into our game. So for example, if I want to import this asset, this one, I can simply drag and drop it in here. Okay, and that's simple. So when you drag and drop it, it's going to be added into your assets. Okay, and then you can use it into your project in many different ways. All right, number three is that when we select something, there is something in the right hand side called inspector. This is where we can edit or change the property of our object. So for example, if I want to go to the main camera and I want to change the background from blue to red, you know, and change the clear flag to solid color, you can see in here, the right corner of my scene, we have this color changed, right? And I can change it to many other things. So yeah, so these are the right hand side of our screen. There is this inspector that comes up when you select any game object. Okay, so this much of knowledge is enough for us to develop our first application. I'm just going to repeat this one more time. All the all the assets that you're going to use into a game goes into the like down in here. So whenever we want to import something into our project, we're going to import it in here. Anything that is inside your app that is in use, right? For example, this is an asset that we have into our project, but we are not using them, right? So if we want to use them, we have to put it in here somehow. Okay, in our scene or in our hierarchy. And then finally, we have these settings in the right hand side. Whenever we select one of the objects, we can see their settings in the right hand side. All right, so yeah, now we need to basically download our go to our Vuforia developer panel, and then go to downloads and download the SDK for our Unity project. So click on add Vuforia engine, agree, and you're going to see a new asset just downloaded. And like I said, anything that you want to add to your project goes in here. So I'm going to, oops, yeah, I'm just going to drag and drop it in here. Okay, so you can do the same for Windows as well. Wherever your asset is, you can simply drag and drop. Or I'll show you the other way. If someone is having trouble dragging and dropping, you can simply go to, yeah, you can simply go to asset and import package. I'll show you just in a bit. Awesome. So yeah, so if you want to import it from here, you can click on asset, import new, asset, and then you can browse to the folder where that is downloaded and then select it. For example, if I want to import this, I can select it. Okay. You can also do import package, custom package. So this is there is two things. So when we are talking about package, that is a Unity package. So just like a zip file, but made explicitly for Unity. So a lot of things can be combined into that zip file and export it as a package. So if I go to downloads, you can see like we have a few Unity packages, right? Vuforia package, dot Unity package. So these are called Unity packages. They are a particular set of objects combined together as a um, you know Unity package. So lot of like maybe 10, 20 thousands of assets packed as one single file. Those are package. So if I want to import package, I can go asset, import package, custom package. But if I just want to add some sort of image or video or 3D model, those are just single assets. We can just do it by importing assets. So that is another way of importing assets, but you can, like I said, always drag and drop things like this into the asset folder. That will also work. Okay. Awesome. So now remember we had a license that we created. We had a license that we created in our developer panel here, our first air, right? So we are going to use this license to our project now. Okay. So to do that, we need to go to window and then Vuforia configuration, and that will open up this inspector in the right. Okay, if you see in the right hand side of my screen, there is a inspector, and on top of the inspector it says Vuforia configuration, and we can simply paste the license in here. Okay, so that's it. Our setup is completed for Vuforia. Now we can start making the app. I'm again going to pause for 2 minutes in case anyone have any questions, and then you can start again. All right. So if you guys don't have any question yet, let's move forward. We have our oh, I'm sharing the screen, right? Okay, good. Yeah. So we have the setup completed. Now we are going to add the AR camera. So what happens in AR? In AR, we have a device. For our case, that can be our PC today. I could actually share my mobile device as well, but my my actually computer broke, so I'm using a MacBook, and it's really you know painful to share mobile devices in here with Android. So I'm not going to share my mobile device, but I'll show you how to build it for mobile. Anyways, so yeah, so we are going to need a camera. For our case, we are going to use the device camera that comes with the laptop, and then um, we need a image target, right? So image targets are, like I said, these things. It can be any image target. I'm using this one because I actually have them and they look fancy. But you can use any piece of paper, that has enough information. So for example, I have something like this in here. So you can use this paper as well because it has a lot of text. So the more complex the image is, the more feature you have. Okay. On the other hand, if I try to use something like this iPhone box, it might not work because it's really flat. There is not enough information. But if I rotate this, you can see there's a lot of text. So it's really complicated for the computer to read. So that is a good image target. So we need two things. We need a camera that can enable the device camera. For our case, it can be the smartphone camera or the laptop camera. Number two, we need a image target that we are going to look into, right? So when you face your camera to that image target, we can see something. So two things: the camera and the image target. So that's why I'm going to delete the main camera, because we are going to use a device camera. We can right click, then go to Vuforia engine, and then click on AR camera. That's it. So now we have an AR camera in here. I'm just going to save my screen, show you guys that this works. I'm going to stop my camera from here. I think you can still see my screen. So I'm going to go there and then see. Yeah, you can see the camera um, from my laptop is now showing inside Unity Editor. So the camera is working. Awesome. That's simple. Next up, we need to add the image target. So uh, we again need to go to the Vuforia developer panel. We are going to go click on the develop, and we are going to basically create a new um, image target for our app, right? So let's go to our like AR app that we created, and in the top you can see there is a option called Target Manager. So click on Target Manager and create a new database. I'm going to click on the Add Database and our first. And then create. Yeah. So click on that target that you just created, and we need to add a target. So this is where we are going to need the image, right? So you see, I have, where is it? Yeah. I'm just going to open my camera again. You see, I have this um, like astronaut card image in my computer. So in my computer is in here. And if you also want to like get the same images, you can basically go to the Unity Asset Store. So if you search for Unity Asset Store, that's the first link. And Vuforia 4, if you search for that, there is a few samples that Vuforia provides. And if you download this package into your project, you are going to get this, like the image of the card. But for your case, I think this is not going to make much sense, because you're going to like develop some sort of unicap. So you can simply go to internet and then search for image targets, right? So for example, if you are planning to make an alphabet app, you can search for something, whatever. Yeah, this is really self-explanatory. You're already going to know that, but I'm just showing you which one is a good image and which one is not. So if I go in here, um, let's say this. So if you crop each of them, they are not good feature, because you see like there is a lot of flat spaces. There is not a lot of complex structure in here. But on the other hand, if you have something like maybe something like this, right? So if you have something like this is really complicated. There is a lot of, edges. So the more edges you have into this image, the more better that target should be. So if I go to the target manager and now try to add a target, you're going to see like what I mean, like the good, the bad. You're going to understand what I mean about that. So for our case, we are going to use this single image target. So select that one. That's by default, and then browse and down like browse through the place where you have your image target saved. For me, it's in here. So I'm going to select that and open. Okay. And then in the width is basically the width of the target in scene unit. Okay. So target means this guy. So I can go to my folders here and I can find out the width of this thing in scene unit, right? So that means if I go to sprite, apply, and drag and drop it in here, you can see in scene the scale is 1, but what they're looking for is the width of this thing from this point to this point. So it can be a little bit hard to like determine how long this thing is, but you see like each grid in unity, this is 1. Okay, so I'm going to assume that this is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm just going to do 8 in there. Okay, but you can just put some numbers if you want. If you're not sure, just try to do trial and error. I'm just going to do 8 for now in here, maybe 5, and then add. And when the target is uploaded, it's going to take a while to process, and I'm just going to wait because I want to show you guys something. Yeah, so when it's done, you can see there's a rating and it says augmentable 5, right? And if I click on the show features, you can see there's a lot of like yellow dots in here. So these basically shows you that how feature extensive this thing is. On the other hand, if I went back to in here, if I just download this, for example, save image as, this will also work. Let me show you. If I add another target, this one. Oh, this image was not supported. So let me download another one. This is not supported as well. This will work. Okay, so this image is pretty bland. So you'll see that this will not give me enough feature and the rating will be lower. Okay, so let's do, oh, in fact, actually it's better. So if see, like I was thinking it's not good enough, but it is. So if you click on the show features, you can see like how many features are there, and apparently because these are alphabets, they have pretty good feature points, and there are like few of them. So if it was only A or only B, that might be a different scenario. But yes, so you upload this image in here and find out like the rating of it, so you know that if that is a good target or bad target. Okay, and now that we have it, I'm just going to select just the one that I need, If you have multiple target that you want to use, you can select all of them and then download the database. We're going to use it inside Unity, so select Unity and then download. All right, so again, we need to go back to Unity one more time, and just like before, we can simply drag and drop the assets in here. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to delete this. Okay, so now we have everything that we need, and we can now finally add the image target in here. Remember, we talked about two things. We need two object, an AR camera for accessing the device camera, and then the image target that we are going to use to, you know, augment an object. So yeah, let's create a image target. Go to Vuforia engine, image target, and then from here we can select the type. Click on the image target. In the right hand side you can see there's the image target behavior, and from the type we can say from database, and the database is our first image target. So and this one is automatically synced from the, cloud where we created the image target, and then we imported the database into a local. So yeah, we are all set to show our first AR app. Now, what do we want to show here? We have a card in here, and we want to show something on top of the card. We want to augment some object. So for example purpose, I'm just going to use a 3D cube, okay? And oops, sorry. We can scale it a little bit, something like this. All right. Now, if I save and play the game, let's see. Oh, uh, everyone can see my screen, right? Okay, I'm just going to stop the camera in here. Okay, so you can see the on top of the card we are augmenting a cube, right? And if there is no card, there is a problem. It's basically still showing the cube. So let's fix that. I'm going to show it one more time. By default there is nothing, but after it basically shows up the cube, it never goes away. So how can we fix them? So maybe in here we can basically do tracked, right? So you can see there is an option called consider target as visible if the status is tracked or extended track. Extended track means even if the tracking is lost, the object should be there. That's really handy when you are developing actual applications, right? Because sometimes the tracking system there sometimes are like glitchy, and there is like only tracked, and we're going to use that. And there is like tracked or limited, extended tracked, extended track, or limited. So limited means like when there is not enough feature point, that's when the target is, sorry, the target is kind of limited. For our case, we know that the target is really strong, so we don't need to have limited options. So we can just simply say consider the target visible if the status is tracked. And now if I try again, it's gone, right? Pretty cool. So yeah, so now we can replace anything from with, like, we can replace the cube with any 3D objects. Now you may ask, where can we find 3D objects? So lucky for us, we are like, we have a app for free 3D models. So it's called Sketchfab. It's pretty awesome. So Sketchfab has lots of 3D models that you can use like for free for your for educational purpose. So let's look for some astronaut. I see this is downloadable. Okay, so I'm just going to download this 3D model just from here. You are going to need a account, so I'm just going to use my Google account. Have anything else in here? Oops. So yeah, we are going to use the original format or GLTF format. Uh, I'm not sure that like Unity supports GLTF, but I'm not sure if it supports it by default. Um, if it doesn't, then we have to do something else. We have to, yeah. Let's see. Let's see it first. So Unity always supports FBX file, but yeah, to get the support of GLTF, you have to apply another plugin. So you're not going to use that. So just search for any 3D model that is have a .fbx extension and use that in your project. Okay. Actually have a few, so I'm just going to use that. I'm not going to take time because in case you have some question, I need to answer them, right? So I have a few assets in here. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to import the Vuforia samples, and there we have a few assets. Yeah, so the goal is just to show you that how simple it is. Like although the class, like the whole seminar was really long, and but if you see carefully, most of the things were setting up stuff, right? So if you can set up the whole thing once, then it's really a few clicks, right? So you just need to create a new AR camera, you just need to create a new image target, and then you just need a 3D model to showcase, right? So with just like three or four clicks, you have an AR application. So yeah, let's do. I'm just going to change this layout so it's easier for me to find out the assets. So yeah, we have these astronaut assets in here, and I can simply delete the queue and drag and drop the astronaut in there. Okay. And by default you are going to see the astronaut is white, but we can change the material to make it more colorful. We need to expand the object and then drag and drop the materials in there. Let's try it one more time and we'll see we have a 3D object now rather than just a cube, or not. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's because the astronaut is too small. Like, yeah, my bad. So we can scale it up so that you can see it, and then it should work. Forgot to save. Hmm. All right, I'm not sure why it's not working, but it should work. I'm sure. I'm just going to just stop like the session now. In case you have any questions, you can reach me out into. I'm just going to send you my LinkedIn profile as well. So if you have any questions and if you want to learn more, and then you can hit like ask me questions. Oh, the skin is black. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Uh, share screen. Yeah, that's a good one. You can see my skin now, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I am. Nothing happened in the last 1 minute. 4 minutes. I actually tried to showcase a 3D model, which didn't work. But it should work in your case. Finger crossed. But if it doesn't, feel free to reach out to me. I'll share my LinkedIn, and then you guys can ask me direct questions if you have any in there. So yeah, and if you can ask me here as well if you want. So just to send you the link. Yeah. Anyone have any question? Just going to stop sharing. Yeah. Yeah, sure, Paul. I think I got your invitation. Yeah, I'm going to accept it. Sure. It was really great to meet you guys as well. I really recommend everyone to get into AR VR space if you're interested, and you don't have to be a coder. There is a lot of creator studio, like there is Spark Air, there is a Snaps Air studio. So you can use those systems to be creative. If you're an artist, you can just use those tools. You can use Vuforia and Unity to create many cool applications and stand out from typical like development areas. It's good to have some sort of a specializations in these fields because they are growing rapidly. Um, so yeah. Yeah, I used to play that like long ago. Seems not recently. I just play FIFA nowadays. Actually, I can. No, I'm not working in the Sims team, but I'm working on the Skate team. Like there is a new game called Skate 4. The name is not like confirmed yet, but like yeah, I'm in that team working on the AI part. So yeah. All right, guys. So yeah, I think this is a wrap up. It was really great to talk to you. Wish you all the best for your hackathon, and hopefully I'll see you guys again in the future. Thanks.